Hello and welcome to a video DwarfCast brought to you by Ganymede and Titan. Yes, the rare opportunity for you to look at our beautiful faces as well as hear our beautiful voices. Aren't you lucky? I'm Ian Symes, and joining me today, as always, are Jonathan Capps.
Hello.
And Danny Stevenson.
I apologise for my face.
Anything we feel, we have to look at it all day. Today we have gathered in a video format because whilst undergoing one of our current little projects, which may or may not have actually launched by the time we release this video,
yeah, very likely.
we'll see.
Yeah.
We got talking about something the other day that I hadn't seen in years and assumed was long gone, deleted from the internet forever, which is the original Flash intro to reddwarf.co.uk. Which was put up in the year 2000?
I think so.
Late 2000, ahead of the full sort of relaunch of reddwarf.co.uk early the following year. Or late that year. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Because it used to be Red Dwarf Online, didn't it?
There was a version, Red Dwarf Online.
You're right, Red Dwarf did used to be online, Danny. It's not anymore.
Yeah, Red Dwarf Online was there when I first got the internet around 98, 99.
Yeah,
I remember being on there and downloading the trailer for Red Dwarf 8 in 56k and it taking like 4 hours. It was so not worth it. But also they put the Blue Midget dance up like before it had been on air. They put that up as a,
it was
as a
so
teaser.
proud of it.
I was so proud of it. I was like, this has
hell.
got to be seen.
This is going to be gangbusters.
Like,
honestly, the
this
fans
size
are going to
real
love it.
player window. This is going to be it. But anyway, yeah, when that version of the site was done with, Andrew Ellard came on board to run reddwarf.co.uk, and in the interim, they released a little preview teasing all the exciting features that were to come. And it turns out that this thing does still exist, thanks to the Internet Wayback Archive. And even though it's in Flash, and Flash itself is not supported in any modern browser, we have got it emulated, and so we're here today in our roles as the potty-mouthed archivists of all things Red Dwarf to capture the content of this little trailer in case we lose it again. And so it's there for prosperity, and to also be sarcastic about it at the same time. Win-win. So yeah, that person is a very heavily edited photo of Doug Naylor.
Somebody just got photoshopped too.
Paint Shop Pro 4, I think, at the time.
As was the style at the time.
Who can do the best Doug impression?
I mean,
Do the voice.
I wonder what it would be like if Brian Blessed.
Oh, no. No.
This is the very special opening announcement from Doug Naylor, who, by the way, has the image that would later be used on the DVDs reflected in his glasses. He says, "Hi everyone, I just want to tell you about our plan to completely redesign and overhaul reddwarf.co.uk. Up until now I haven't had much involvement with Red Dwarf on the net, but I want that to change. Here's what we're planning, and here's how you can help us to make the site a whole lot more smegtastic." So, just at the outset, as it transpired, Doug wasn't that involved in reddwarf.co.uk. It was Andrew's baby. Doug was, interviewed a couple of times and quoted for, and was the source of news updates and stuff.
Yeah. He paid for it, presumably.
Yeah.
Paid Andrew's wages.
But I'm gonna do what he says now and click here, smeg head.
Oh, sorry, flash, strobing lights warning for the click here animation.
Yeah. It's Crichton.
Oh, Crichton, you've interrupted us.
And to be fair, they've just made the same jokes as us about. You've just taken your regular, really ugly passport photo and turned the contrast up a bit.
That's called photoshopping a lampshade onto it.
And there's some sparkling dialogue. This is predating Back to Earth, of course, in having dialogue between the creator and the characters.
Yeah, this is Red Dwarf's first bit of metafiction.
going away immediately, sir. And that's good.
That is good. Yeah.
Little animation.
When we first discovered this the other night, we got to that bit, and I think that was when we realised, oh yeah, we should probably make a video about this.
Stop watching it now.
This is post Series 7, isn't it?
Oh yeah, post 8.
Post
This is
8.
2000.
Oh right, okay. So this is like closing the door. The door's nearly closed now, and the door's closed.
Yeah. In general terms, we want to make this site a lot more interactive. Hand control of the site over to you.
I don't know what that means.
That's asking for trouble.
That's like Web 2.0 before Web 2.0.
Yeah. But don't hand control of the site over to the fans, Jesus Christ.
No, because then you get the forum. We all know how that ends.
I've got lots of ideas for this, but I'd love to hear any of your feedback, and most especially what you don't want. Then I can ignore all your comments, do what I was going to do in the first place, but blame you if it doesn't work. It's a plan with no drawbacks.
That sounds like Series 5. Oh no, Series 6.
Yeah.
Well, listen to everything you want for Series 6, and then do everything completely opposite, but that one worked.
And now this is Rimmer talking. Rimmer in the midst of his brutal prison rape. That's this video demonetized.
This is like, pulling back a bit. 2000 was like a bit of a scary time for Red Dwarf fans, because like everything that was visible about Red Dwarf online, it was so Series 8 focused for good reason, from a marketing point of view. But like, and I guess remastered as well, and we just kind of thought, like, is this just what Red Dwarf's legacy is now? And that's why we were worried about like the DVDs and stuff like that, you know.
But on the other hand, we were anticipating that the website would be the first place to go for all your movie news.
Well, of course,
which it was.
Well,
Yeah, it's just that there wasn't as much of it as we thought.
As Spartan as it was going to be.
Yeah.
How long was it between this thing appearing and the new website actually being launched?
Very good question.
A few months.
Was it?
From memory? But that's from memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was an announcement that a new site was coming, and then this was there, sort of in its place for a few months before the site itself launched.
You'd certainly want this to sit there for a while to kind of build up some anticipation, because they're clearly, like, you know, time and effort has gone into this.
Yeah.
I remember checking this quite often when it was,
Yeah, I must have watched this over and over again at the time.
Because it's just brand new information. It's like, it's sort of like,
and also,
teasing.
It was really exciting, like, for a very short period of time, to have content on the internet that was like this, that was dynamic and interactive in a way, that you were playing, you know, is like a gamified version of this information. Very soon it became apparent that it was inaccessible, bloated, and not an ideal way to run a website at all. But for a little while,
very soon.
Well, it became apparent to good people very soon.
Yeah.
Now, here are some of the areas I'm thinking of including. Email me and tell me what you think.
See, this is the first time we'd heard of Weird City as well. It's strange to think that, you know, back then that's all we knew about Weird City was just this little thing, and now, you know, we know so much about it. It's had all of its series and, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah, an animated Grant Naylor series created in 1992, which I'm developing for TV, called Weird City. You'll be the first people to see the storyboards. Oh, I thought there was going to be more. You'll be the first people to see the storyboards.
And?
So yeah, is this the UEU dimension?
Yeah. Did it start
Possibly.
with the UEU dimension, or did it start with Weird Cities?
Did it start with, we went to see Dark Star?
Yeah, it seems that way. But then, so it's interesting, right? So this is 2000. Rob and Doug hate each other. Yeah. So why would he be making this under the banner of Grant Naylor rather than something akin to 3 Feet? And unless the rights to it, or, like, you know, the original idea is a Grant Naylor idea that is kind of that's enshrined, and he just wanted to carry that on, maybe.
Yeah, well, if it was seriously developed in 1992 to a point of, well, it was being developed for Carlton, wasn't it?
It looks like it got a certain amount of the way through.
In which case, it would be the property of the production company rather than Doug himself or Rob himself or Rob themselves.
Just a question: did we actually see the storyboards for this?
No.
Okay.
No, we barely saw storyboards for the movie.
True.
No, this just never materialized.
No.
Okay.
Unless really like a heavily modified version of the pilot script turned into Over to Bill. But I don't think so.
Next, we have 3 games. The first one is going to be a polymorph shoot 'em up, where you have to blast the polymorph, who can be disguised as anything on the ship. But if he gets you first and steals an emotion, you react accordingly.
A really good idea for a game.
Yeah. Really,
it's a really
idea.
solid idea. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be no surprise that we have sort of floated the idea of potentially doing a game of Red Dwarf, but the idea of like having sort of your emotions affected as you play kind of is incredibly complicated.
Yeah.
Not something you can do
game
on like
in
exactly. Yeah.
It makes me think of like games that have a madness mechanic, which you get in things like Amnesia, I think, and other games that as you get madder.
Fantasy Sugs.
And what? Sorry.
Fantasy Sugs.
Right. Jesus Christ.
Just our house gets louder and louder.
But this game exists, right? So this was
it's
on the
that.
website.
Yeah, it wasn't really disguised, if I remember. I mean, a future video for us is clearly us going to be playing through the polymorph game.
Yeah.
Because we have the swoof of that as well. I remember it being shit, and that the polymorph wasn't really disguised as anything. It was just like the main polymorph creature that you were attacking, and that it was in space and not on the ship. Is my memory. And there was certainly nothing about it stealing your emotions and changing the gameplay.
so
which was difficult to achieve on a PlayStation 5.
I just love that all of this promises so far we've had one thing and it isn't even like a quarter of the thing it was actually. Like where you have to blast the polymorph more.
Full stop. Yeah, I mean, from a marketing level, they were clearly drumming up hype and interest around the website, which was great. But the golden rule is under promise, over deliver.
Yeah.
They seem to be doing the exact opposite.
I mean, like game companies have been absolutely trounced in recent years because of promises they could not make, and it's like had this been under the same level of scrutiny, they would have been absolutely fucked from the beginning.
Well, he's saying here, email me and tell you what you think. So we'll get to the end of this video. I'll write a sternly worded email to do. What's next? Oh, for instance, if you lose your cowardice, you run around at top speed blasting at everything. If you lose your inhibitions, you open up your coat and flash at the polymorph. What?
And then it's game over? Like what?
I mean, when you say flash at the polymorph, does that mean is that Macromedia Flash?
Yeah,
before
like
the Adobe.
the polymorph needs screen readers, so if you Macromedia Flash it, then it
So yeah, that's more things that didn't happen. Free screensavers. The first one's going to be Crichton cleaning and hoovering your dirty screen.
I love the idea of that. The idea of that. That's such a good idea for. I mean, oh God, can you remember? I mean, who didn't have a Matrix screensaver after 1999?
Oh yeah.
Who just had where the screen, and then eventually it all got malware and everyone got their computers infected.
Screensavers were one of the main sources of viruses in these days, weren't they? Like,
my God.
Click here for a free because they were
executable
They
files.
were
like,
executables on your computer, and it's like, oh, cool. I'll click on this thing that's not going to completely destroy my hard drive.
like sheep.exe. Do you remember that?
No.
You ran that, and then a sheep just appeared on the desktop, and while you're working and just doing normal things, the sheep is kind of wandering around, and sometimes if you leave it into screensaver mode, it like eat your icons and dive bomb, stuff like that. It was really cool. It was
right.
It was the future, man.
I thought you were saying it was a virus.
I was going to say
no, it was an
icons
actual
and delete all the files.
no virus.
I definitely had things like that, like desktop buddies and stuff like that. But anyway, these free screensavers didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
No screensavers. A weekly column by me called Details, Anecdotes from Times Past on the Small Rouge one. A bit like the stuff I wrote for the Red Dwarf 8 book.
This one hurts the most.
Yeah,
if I could choose any of the things so far.
Yeah. I mean, he invented production notes.
Yeah. And I wonder if the movie hadn't have been such a clusterfuck, he might have actually done this, because maybe it came to it and it was like, well, I haven't got any good news to share, because that was like one of the reasons that he gave for not coming to DJ for years, was because he didn't want to turn up without any good news.
Yeah.
So when it came to writing about Red Dwarf in a weekly column, maybe he got to it. Do you know what? I'll wait until there's more solid movie stuff, and then that never happened.
Also, I was thinking also, could it be just the fact that the movie just kind of kiboshed any plans that Doug actually had for this website, because it'd be like he would be available to be involved more, but the movie completely fucked that up in terms of scheduling and meetings and everything like that.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a little
bad timing.
A little part of the budget that was assigned to the website as kind of marketing, and all of this would have been just to get the brand up there, and then obviously one of the many times that funding fell through, a lot of these ideas did as well.
But yeah, of everything, this is the one that is the most desired, and also the easiest.
Yeah,
and also the one that can still happen.
Yeah,
I would love. I mean, I've said this 1,000 times. Who doesn't want a coffee book on every series of
they
Red
could
Dwarf
both
written
do
the same
that.
way?
They could both make relatively easy. Even if you just ghostwrite it, you just be interviewed and have someone else write it. You know.
Yeah.
Like Andrew could have ghostwritten this column, and it would have been very easy, high value content. But then the website doesn't make you any money, so
yeah.
And also, Doug's not going to let someone else ghostwrite for him.
Yeah,
Come
that's
on.
true, actually. I mean, he lets other people
Doesn't even let people ghost direct model shoot. Even more, the first chance to buy the latest Red Dwarf merchandise. There was chances to buy merchandise.
First, second chance, third chance. I think that's how many shops there were.
There's a new Red Dwarf phone fascia in the pipeline, as well as a mobile Red Dwarf pouch to carry it in.
The year was 2000.
Red Dwarf phone fascias. That's for like the old school Nokias that had like the removable frontages.
3210, where you could,
Oh my god!
I
remember having a Coca-Cola one. And
I had both sides Aston Villa one, and I got it signed by Ian Taylor.
Amazing. The year was 2000. I'm actually going on an anti-fascia march next weekend.
Are you fascist?
I'm anti-fascist.
Antifa.
Yeah, exactly.
I somehow, I think I still have one of them Red Dwarf pouches. Or was it a fan club one?
They were fan club things.
Yeah, fan club did more.
The fan club made mobile pouches, and none of these ever happened.
No, they did. Right. They did. It would be a good few years until they did some of the Bluebeck stuff, games and some like emojis and ringtones and shit, wasn't it?
Yeah, and in terms of merch, they had in the first iteration of the Red Dwarf shop, which was like 2003-ish, 2004. There was playing cards. There was Rimmer's toolkit. But no mobile phone fascia, because already by that point it wasn't a thing.
Yeah, no. Everyone had big like proto smartphones, and like, well, I say everyone, like the top end ones were like the ones that would end up being smartphones with keyboards and shit. They were massive.
Right, next. This was so many ideas gone through in this section, but next page.
Oh, here he is.
Oh, that first one went away really quickly. I didn't press anything. It just said there'll also be an exclusive Officers Club or words to that effect.
Yeah.
Okay.
To qualify, you'll have to sit a multiple-choice, really hard astronavigation exam, just like Rimmer, and then complete Space Marine maneuver games in an allotted time to gain access to the sumptuous officers' quarters, where you'll have special privileges.
How much of that is a joke, and how much of that is like interactive website? That'll be fun.
I remember that there was an officers' club area, very short-lived, that didn't really have anything extra on that I remember as maybe like a few desktop wallpapers or something. But I don't think you had to play games because that would have required them to make games. There's possibly a quiz to get into it or something.
Like one question, like just to, it's like instead of having an account that you had to pay a fee for, it's like one question perhaps. We'll have to dig through things and see if there's anything of this in the archive. But
yeah, I mean, surely you'd want as many people as possible to give you their data at this stage. Pre-GDPR.
Yeah.
People's email addresses and stuff like this was valuable property in these Wild West days.
It's odd to me for Ace Rimmer to say, you'll have to sit a multiple choice really hard astronavigation exam, like Rimmer.
You're Rimmer, mate.
Yeah. Never forget it.
Mum's Rimmer. But your dad's not.
Oh shit. He's coming at us from the other angle now.
In front of some Series 8 prisoners.
Yeah, for some reason.
A weekly Red Hot News section, which they did use the term Red Hot News.
Yeah.
And it was weekly up until it died. It was weekly. So
if they'd said, we will give you weekly news non-stop for 20 years, we would be like, oh yeah, whatever, tall promises. But that is the thing that they ended up doing.
That's the one thing that actually did happen.
But yeah, promising to keep us up to date with the movie. Which they did.
They did, yeah.
Nothing happening. And all the other things which the cast are up to. Already predicting the future of Red Dwarf News being... Craig Charles is
doing more stuff.
They're going to conventions.
Yeah.
Free downloadable pics.
Can confirm.
High resolution.
Yeah, for the time, yeah.
They may take a little time to download.
Yeah, because they are 640 by 480, so...
But you'll be able to print them off or use them as wallpaper on your desktops.
This fucker. I know it's Back to Earth era, but it's almost HD. It's like that weird 16 by 10 PC.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost... And all the others are like this as well, so... They were quite good. They probably would have taken... you probably would have had to go and make a cup of tea. Download an image.
Right. At some point, we're going to try and include Red Dwarf animated shorts and also an animated version of Asso, Spanish Detective, based on the character Rob and I first wrote for the Radio 4 sketch show Son of Cliché. Jesus.
Where did this art come from?
I mean, it's meant for the... I'm assuming it's meant for the... This was the concept idea.
Yeah.
It looks a bit very Captain Kremen kind of Kenny Everett style.
I can picture it.
I can, yeah, totally. 100%.
And that looks like Nick Maloney as well, who played Asso, Spanish Detective. So it's clearly modelled on the actor.
Ah, okay.
Did he have a face shaped like a foot?
He was a shoe person.
It's a shoe face.
Another like prospect for something that Rob owns as well. It's like maybe things weren't as like awful back then. I don't know.
I don't know. We don't know what the current state of play is, but for a while, Grant Naylor Productions at this time was Doug and Charles Armitage were the ones running it, and they were running it as a business. They were running it to make money, so why not have more? It's only now we consider Grant Naylor Productions to be, you know, the company that just makes Red Dwarf, and that's been the case since probably like the DVD era. But it wasn't intended to be that originally, because they made the 10%ers, they made iCamcorder. It's just they got stuck doing Red Dwarf. But Red Dwarf animated shorts technically did get made for the internet. For the mobile service many years later. Something like that.
Yeah. So not long.
2007 was Red Christmas was Christmas 2007.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
Still waiting for the animated Asso Spanish Detective. I wonder if it would have just been like the radio sketches. Undoubtedly, would have been the radio sketches with animation set to them rather than new material. But even so. Mr. Flibble talks to the stars. Here's something that did happen.
And did it?
Here's a little animated.
Very good.
Mr. Flibble, aided by Andrew Ellard, editor of the Red Dwarf Fan Club magazine, which he was here, but he was just soon to be poached by.
Soon to be hired.
Yeah,
so this
of course.
Pre-hire.
Yeah.
Right, interesting.
Tracks down celebrities from the world of sci-fi and brings us exclusive star guest interviews, some related to Red Dwarf, some related to other sci-fi shows and films.
Yeah, so we definitely got that.
Did we get related to other stuff, or did we just get dwarf based?
There was a handful, I think, maybe.
Oh, hang on, did we get Terry Pratchett?
No, you're completely wrong.
Just mainly dwarf people.
Mainly dwarf people, yeah.
I've got a feeling there was one or two in the early days, general sci-fi people, but they very soon lost that reason.
Right, yes, Clive Barker.
Oh, really?
So yeah, we sort of got that one. Oh, the interviews will include Mr. Flibble talking to Gil Taylor, Star Wars cinematographer, about his time working with George Lucas. Dwarf director Ed By talking about his hit movie Kevin and Perry Go Large. I would imagine, yes, that would have
Germans.
been in there. Hardball Paul. Sylvian Despretz. I remember this. Storyboard artist on Alien Resurrection, talking about working with Ridley Scott on Gladiator and the aborted Schwarzenegger blockbuster I Am Legend.
Interesting.
And they also had loads of... There's a gallery of Sylvain Despretz artwork that they hosted. Sylvain and his family all contributed.
Yeah, the artwork is amazing, really. Like when you look back, it's like some weird shit, and it's really good.
Was Sylvain Despretz the guy who did all of the stuff for the remastered?
No, that was Mark Wilkinson.
Oh, I beg your pardon. My God.
Of
I'm all over the fucking
Marillion
place.
album cover fame, and
That's the lad.
One Darkness album cover fame.
That's right.
And some other things.
Many other.
Interesting, they mentioned the aborted Schwarzenegger blockbuster I Am Legend, which then went on to be a Will Smith
Oh
film.
yeah. It wasn't aborted.
No.
It was just delayed.
It wasn't
should have
Schwarzenegger,
been.
did it? Yeah.
It's a rubbish film. I think it's got its fans, but Jesus.
But yeah, Sylvain and his family, the Despretz housewife. Next,
Funny names.
Sylvain will also be talking to Mr. F about the died in development How Tim Burton project Superman Lives. Also, we'll be making available some free... See, this sounds like the one that they've already got in the bank ready to launch, because they've got a lot of detail on what this particular interview will entail. And it, and it was
I've never read the interview. I didn't realise it talked about Superman Lives, because that was...
Is that the Nicolas Cage one?
Yeah, that was... and Kevin Smith.
Wow.
Well, yeah.
God, I don't...
It's
yeah.
where
Link in the show notes, if it's worth.
It's where the giant mechanical spider starts its life. And then ends in Wild Wild West.
Oh, really? That was actually an original idea that was brought in from that
was
to that?
I think so. I might be getting it twisted here, but
My
Kevin
God.
Smith has one of his stories that he tells at his little talks, and one of them was a script he did, and there was this producer that was just determined to get a giant mechanical spider into the script,
Right.
And I think there was a story about him trying to do it with another film, and then eventually went on to produce Wild Wild West, and he got
Which is where that
Mechanical
came from.
Spider. Yeah.
My God.
So it's actually a really heartwarming story, isn't it? You know, like he was a little producer that really believed in his
The
idea.
producer who could.
The producer who could, yeah. But yeah, that's Nicolas Cage. There's some footage of him doing screen tests. It's weird.
Yeah, very weird.
Have you noticed, by the way, that Mr. Flibble's eyes are flashing?
Yes.
Oh, no, I was too busy having a seizure.
Frying your brain alive with text vision.
Yeah, pretty good. It's pretty good.
Bill Pearson, model maker
Annihilator.
and Red Dwarf 8 SFX Maestro, will be talking to the Flibmeister. Oh, kind of stupid nickname that is, just Meister, about working on Battlefield Earth.
He worked on Battlefield Earth, you poor man.
Yeah.
Is that the John Travolta?
That's the Scientology.
Yeah. Oh Jesus.
Do you remember when he turned up at that Red Dwarf pub quiz, and he just finished a day working on World War Z?
Yeah.
He was telling us about that. What an excellent man.
Yeah. God bless him.
Rest in peace.
All
there we
this
go.
plus
We should have just read ahead.
interviews with the late Bob Kane. The late Bob Kane.
Hang on.
Ray Harryhausen. Clive Barker.
Yeah, Ray
Spider-Man. Did they actually interview Ray Harryhausen?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, there's a Harryhausen
Blimey.
one. They do not have Stan Lee, though.
Francis Ford Coppola. Is this Ellard just like pitching his wish list?
I was going to say,
basically?
yeah, he got some. He didn't get Francis.
Yeah,
Oh, did he
got
get
Clive
Francis?
Barker.
Did they interview Bob Kane? I don't remember Bob Bloody Kane.
Bob Bloody Kane.
Yeah, Bob Kane's on there. Yeah.
Okay, so
And was he already dead when they published it?
yeah, he was dead when they interviewed him. Yeah.
Justice.
Got an interview with the late Bob Kane. There's very few words.
It's like Mr. Ed. I told you we're going to regret it.
Batman creator Bob Kane passed away in 1998, leaving the world with perhaps its most famous comic book character. Before he died, Bob took some time out from a comic convention he was attending to discuss the creation of his winged vigilante and his opinion on the Tim Burton movies.
Oh, so this was something that Ellard had grabbed
Himself.
off his own back
Oh.
and was able to put it onto this then.
Yeah.
By the looks of things. Interesting.
Isn't that? Yeah, that really is.
It's clearly... I mean, as I say, clearly, we could ask him. He's not like a mega celebrity or anything. We do have access to Andrew Ellard, but I assume that a lot of this extended remit would have come from him, of like saying, yeah, I can interview all the Red Dwarf people, sure, but why don't we extend it out and then I can go and interview, all these people, movie directors and comic book artists and all the people that he wants to meet and interview and build up his portfolio and his,
Yeah.
Nice. Next.
Oh my God!
I've got an animation. There's an incoming transmission.
Incoming transmission. Is it?
Sound. The Space Corps needs you. Email us with your top tens.
The stuff you happen to think is cool. Don't.
Well.
And it's gone. See.
Okay, we'll sort of slow it down for the video. But yeah, it's basically saying send in your top tens for us to publish about Red Dwarf or other things that people might be interested in. So there seems to be an attempt to make it a sort of general entertainment geek culture site, which is never going to work.
But, well, no, but what prescience? I mean, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Like, so many video game websites had to turn into general geek pop culture websites in a few years ago to keep adrift. It was very interesting, and that must be what was referred to at the start when Doug said something about giving control over to you.
Yeah. UGC, which never happened, but they had the forum, I guess, which was why make it a formal thing of publishing someone's top tens when you just have forum threads about those topics?
Yeah, exactly.
So, take the Cats challenge. What
gladly.
Is this going to be? This new site's going to be great, buds. There's going to be lots of pics of me looking eye-wateringly cool, and did I mention handsome? Brackets, swoon, close brackets. There's also going to be the Cats Challenge, where you can win lots of incredible prizes. All you have to do is send us a photograph, and if you're more handsome than me, then you win one of the fantastic prizes. Is this Ellard trying to pick up?
No. Yes. Yes.
Today we have Adrian Smith, who thinks he's better looking than me and is here today to accept my handsome challenge. This is the man from the making of book.
Yes, it is.
Because we talked about this in a DwarfCast about a year ago.
Reeves.
Because there's a bloke in the making of book that looks like Vic Reeves, and this is him.
This is the one that's looks really pissed off.
There he is.
Casting crew.
There he is.
There he is.
There's the
Yeah,
man.
and the guy next to him looks really pissed off, like pissed off Messi next to him.
Hi, Adrian.
He's pretty sexy, to be fair.
Hi, Cat. So you want to accept the handsome challenge?
This is like these dating sim
classic.
games.
Classic Cat dialogue.
Yes.
You understand that the judge's decision is final and I am the judge? Yes, I do. You also understand... Hang on. Which order am I supposed to read this?
Top right, I think. The cost of these suits, and then because it flows into the next one.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense that way around. You also understand that tonight's star prize is 6 suits designed by a world famous designer of your choice. The
right.
cost of these suits will be £100,000, and they could be yours to take home today if you convince the judge, who is me, that you are more handsome than me.
I'm no expert, but I think that's wrong.
Oh, there he is. Pissed off Messi has arrived next to handsome Vic Reeves.
Did these two people consent to this?
Probably not, to be honest. I mean, this is a book from like 92, isn't it?
By appearing in the Red Dwarf audience for the shooting of Gunmen of the Apocalypse, you agree that in 8 years' time, the official website, will
Don't ask.
will create a flash animation, flash animation, calling you an ugly cunt.
Yeah, they
That's
had
what was
to
printed out
stick
at the
them
top,
up all
yeah.
over the walls so that you
they-
implicitly agree.
Wow. I mean, you would have to have had the permission to do that these days.
And not
I
only
wonder if they were called Adrian. What was it, Adrian Smith?
Adrian
I wonder
Smith.
if that's his actual name, or is it Agent Smith? Okay, let's play.
Oh my God,
First,
get on with it.
take your time, make the most handsome face you can, and then I'll try and look even more handsome than you. And remember, if the judge believes you've won, and that judge is me, and my decision is final, then you win all those suits. Off you go. Okay, Kat, here's my most handsome face.
Good little animation.
Seamless.
There. Oh, the buzz.
Sounds.
Oh, the buzz on that.
Oh.
Yeah.
You might not hear that on the final video, but oof.
Oh, God, we heard it.
The that sounds like a microphone pointed at a telly type
Uh-huh.
of interference.
Yeah.
The sound go over to that panel of judges. That's quite a good joke.
Oh, who would have thought that's how that would end?
I want to thank my mirror and my 2 combs, sob, all my coat hangers who work behind the scenes keeping all my clothes looking so cool, also my hairdryer and my curling tongs, but most of all I want to thank me. I am truly incredible.
He's a very vain character, isn't he, the cat?
All of
4
this.
hours later. And now we move on to Lyris.
That's Graham Linehan's new Edinburgh show, isn't it?
That was rigged. I can see that.
Okay, fair enough. This
It's not bad. This is not bad. I mean, none of this... I don't know whether this was ever intended to be a feature on the site or whether it was just for this joke in the trailer, but oh well. The all-new Red Dwarf website, coming soon to a computer screen near you. Oh, music.
I've got a buzz
Pencils.
going.
What? Oh.
I mean, almost.
We nearly got to the end of a Series 8 era Red Dwarf project without dodgy sexist jokes.
Yeah.
Obviously we can't promise this, but we're really going to try. What did Chloe Annette make of this bit of the trailer?
Probably never saw it, to be honest. There's a part of her interview where she's talking about how Craig was seriously trying to suggest that they start an episode with a proper sex scene between Lister and Kachansky. And she said, yeah, she said like, "You're in your dreams, mate." So she was probably incredibly used to this sort of shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do get the Chloe Annette photo shoot.
Yeah.
It's as close as you're gonna get.
Good.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, we're trying to sell the site. Okay.
Okay.
Plus me, no site's perfect. Coming soon to a computer screen near you.
Well,
Want to be kept up to date.
And
this is having a wank.
Lister's having a wank.
As Doug Naylor intently stares at him.
Is that right? Can you see? I can't see the paintbrush. I can't. Literally just looks.
All that talk from the previous screen. Go back to the beginning and register now.
Ah.
Click here to restart. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Well, not
Ian's
registered.
computer restarts.
So, we did actually get the Mr. Flibble interviews.
Yep. And good. They were good as well. They were very
Yeah.
far-reaching. But that's because
And
that's
went
Andrew
on-
Ellard's plan, and that because he was available, that happened. All the stuff that Andrew was planned to do
Yeah,
was a
this
thing.
is a
Everything
good
Doug
point.
wasn't able to do. Doug wasn't able to do because the movie was taking up all of his time at that point.
This
So
is a
it
good
seemed
point.
more
If
sense.
Yeah, if Andrew was just like an intern at the time or similar, he hadn't been hired at this point. But presumably he wasn't responsible for this as a whole. He was just it was mentioned that Andrew will be doing Mr. Flibble interviews, and that maybe this was created by someone else.
Yeah.
But it seems like Doug and or the rest of GMP were just giddy at the possibilities of what they could do. It's like, we've got our own website that we own and we operate, and we can build all these things into it. We can showcase all our animations and we can do all this. And so it seems like they just churned out or Doug's brain pinged as it does, and he just came up with loads and loads of ideas, got them all down, but went and made them public.
Yeah.
And naturally only a very small amount of them could come off when budgets and time factors. And we did get the polymorph game. It just wasn't quite as amazing as the original vision that Doug had. He probably took the idea to a game company and they said, yeah, we can do a Flash shoot 'em up for you, but you can't have any of this extra stuff.
Well, maybe the same company, whoever they are, that did this.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I wonder if they used a web developer company in Scotland, because if they did, there's a non-zero chance that Limmy could have worked on this when he was a Flash developer.
But when it eventually launched, there was elements of Flash, wasn't there?
So
on
was
the site?
it?
The navigation was Flash.
Navigation was Flash. So instead of like
Different decks.
later on, they'd use images to kind of produce a similar and slightly more accessible version of it. But it was the Flash things, and we hope to kind of recreate a few of these, and not fully, but we're loosely kind of thinking of some sort of museum style thing. So hopefully getting that back up and running. The only problem is getting a browser to work with them for the greater public. But anyway, there was everything was centered around decks on the first version of this, I think. So yeah, deck 1 news, deck 2 features and stuff like that, and it was all very nicely put together. Really, it was one of the, like, it was a fancy website for the time. Both Red Dwarf and Robert Llewellyn both had quite impressive websites. Robert Llewellyn was pioneering streaming his own online video.
And he also had a picture of Crichton in the top left of his website, where if you mouse overed it, it would wink.
It was the height of technology.
Yeah,
it was.
But is that the kind of thing, that small detail, that sticks with you 23 years later? Because at the time it was like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah. And lots of like getting media up online for people to access. Because I feel like at the time, you mentioned 99. That's exactly when I got the internet as well. I feel like the internet kind of arrived to the UK a little while, like in the mainstream, a little while after America. Yeah. So for a British show, a British company to have a website like that, it was kind of probably the first wave of that sort of really impressive stuff. And this is before blogs. This is before Web 2.0. This was just websites as a marketing tool.
We could have had Doug inventing the blog with details.
Yeah, exactly.
Weekly column.
He could have copyrighted it.
Blog Naylor. Why didn't they call it Blog Naylor? Come on.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh, because the term blog didn't exist.
Details sounds a bit too much. A bit too much like a euphemism.
No tails. So yes, if and when we get our TOS museum up off the ground, then this SWIF will be pride of place at the central exhibit, because it is a little piece of Red Dwarf history, mainly an alternative history of an alternative reality. This is what TOS turned into.
Have a look at what you could have won.
The other day we were sat just having one of our non-recorded chats that we have every now and then.
He thinks they're not recorded.
And when we discovered that this thing still existed, I was so excited, so pleased. It was like a weight off my shoulders just to know, because I've got this real thing that I'm rallying against lost media in the digital age, because lessons have not been learned, and I've wanged on about it before on DwarfCasts, but lessons have not been learned from the TV industry of the 50s, 60s and 70s, where they ditched all the old content because it wasn't useful to them at that time, and now there's an incredible cultural interest in seeing all these things again. The same thing is happening on the web. Websites are seen as ephemeral. They get taken down, they disappear, the formats that they're in are no longer supported, and companies don't give a shit, because when they launch a new thing, they just want all traces of the old one to be gotten rid of.
And as we've seen with TOS, even as an example of one of the great examples of content persistence over years, of like, even though it's been restructured multiple times, almost everything that has previously been published existed on TOS and was fully accessible. Even that is not immune to just a few careless decisions, and then all of a sudden, like 80% of the site is inaccessible. And that it's just you need fans to deal with the archiving process quite clearly.
Yeah, because we can't trust
people that don't have a monetary stake in things.
Yeah.
They're the people that have to do it.
People whose time and server space is they're willing to give up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Who was it that bought the Monty Python? It wasn't Steve Coogan, was it? There was someone who had bought the original tapes, or was it even could have been Terry Jones or something like that? But someone
Jones.
Was it Terry Jones had them? Yeah.
Terry Jones bought the master tapes off the BBC and kept them under his bed. Yeah. Because he didn't trust them to.
Well, he just knew they were going to do something. He knew that they weren't going to care. At the time, 20 years later,
they were burning old stuff hand over fist, weren't they?
Well, they were just tipping over it, because it was just like, we need the tapes. Like, we need the tapes more than we need
like
to
a troublesome sibling, like getting one of your VHSs and recording their shit on it.
And you don't put the sellotape over the little tab.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember the thing about can you imagine the amount of like obviously in 1960 odd when you had like Doctor Who and stuff getting removed because it was like we don't repeat stuff because it was like we didn't want to, like, people are paying for this and therefore they're not paying to see things twice, they're paying to see things once, and
What
you
the
know it should
hell's
be
a
new.
rerun?
Well, exactly. They should be paying to watch new stuff all the time, and I get the logic of it. The archiving wasn't seen as important because why would they need to?
And also,
But,
it was a physical space thing. So.
Physical space thing, but also the obverse of that is the fact that the amount of data that would need to be backed up on the off chance that you might need to see it again is immense. Like, like just like you know,
Well, compression algorithms exist,
but you're talking about backing up the internet, and it's like, and I know that some stuff like digital media, like how on earth do you store digital media long term? Because like I don't know how that is even feasible. I know that there's that metal tape that they do actually store stuff long term on, but that's an incredibly again that becomes a physical problem then, because then you have to put it somewhere and keep it there and keep it safe
money. Or you have to trust massive companies like Amazon with their storage buckets that you could use, which is quite a cost-effective way of keeping data up, but you're trusting a multinational.
You're also at the behest of them
company.
Exactly. You're at the behest of them not going broke and having to deal. You know what I mean?
Or just being sold to someone like Elon Musk who will deliberately
vandalize
destroy
things.
Yeah. It's crazy, but I can see both sides of the argument.
Basically, we've taken Curtis's sweary archivist's comment to heart in a good way, and that's a big part of kind of what we're trying to do right now. There's only so much we can do, but we can do a little bit.
So hopefully stay tuned for more. But in the meantime, we'll draw this little video to a close by saying if you want to get in touch with us about any of the things we've said and done, head over, if you're not there already, to ganymede.tv. Follow the link in the description. If you're on YouTube, give us a like and subscribe and smash the fuck out of the bell. And until next time,
Ed bye, everybody. Ed bye.